The granddaddy of them all. UGA versus Bama. Obviously, the biggest game this week coming up. Biggest game of the season so far. Number 2 versus number 4. Um, this is where we get our measuring sticks out. I don't know what to expect. This is going to be a thrilling game. I don't know. Georgia and Bama are both coming off of bye weeks. Georgia is coming off of a questionable, lackluster win against Kentucky. Everybody's kind of said, okay, just Georgia being Georgia. They play these weird games where they look like they're going to lose, but find a way. So let's see. Is that an anomaly? Or is that the Georgia team we get this year? This will be a huge game. I think I saw some post that said this game is going to feed families. I'm sure the tickets are $1,000 and trillion gazillion dollars, and we'll just be able to walk away with where these teams are at this point in the season. But scary game for both teams. I think Georgia obviously wants to get over the Alabama hump. Some people have said it is Nick Saban, and he's the reason. Now that he's gone, move out of our way. And some people have said, no, it's Bama is just better. So we will see. But somebody's O must go. Let's talk about the scenarios here. What happens if Georgia wins? What happens if Bama wins? Like, what's the outlook from this? I think if Georgia goes in and wins a close game or blows out Alabama and shows that they're not on their level, I think either way Georgia moves to number 1, because out of the top 5 teams, this is the first big matchup. Nobody would have faced anyone of that caliber, and being of that caliber, the number 2, number 4 matchup. I think you got to make Georgia number 1 team in the country again if they go out there and beat Bama, and obviously if they crush them. So I think vice versa. I think if Bama goes out there and crushes Georgia, Georgia is probably looking at that 7-8ish area for a drop, that top 10 type of thing. Maybe more, like depending on if it's a bad beating. But I think you don't want to lose, obviously, but if you do, you obviously want it to be close, because then you're flirting with that being at the edge of the college football playoff seeding, and you just make a much harder road for yourself to win a national championship. So I do think these teams are pretty evenly matched, so I don't foresee a blowout, but it's the first test. Who knows? Very, very tough road game for Georgia. And again, their last road game, they didn't look great against the inferior team. So it'll be good to see. And then for Bama, if Georgia crushes Bama and they're at 4 now, I think same thing. They're gonna go in that 10ish range behind some of those teams. But again, not foreseeing a blowout here. I do think it'll be competitive. I think it'll be back and forth, some highs and lows. Prediction, it's tough. Obviously, Georgia fan, so I'm going to say Georgia. I do think Alabama has some questions on offense, specifically their secondary. But I kind of think Georgia has some questions with their receivers. We don't have Brock. We don't have McConkey. But we do have some weapons. So I think Georgia is a bit better. I can see a 27-24 win. something in that range. But should be a good game. And as always, go dog.